I know that's happening. And so we'll go ahead and, hey, we'll get started, man.
Sounds good.
7 o'clock. So you ready? You ready for the playoffs?
Oh yeah, for sure. Been waiting on this since well, it's been a shortened season, so I've been waiting on this for 6 months, 7 months.
Okay.
Around
Yeah.
that time. Around that time.
There you go. Um, so the matchups, let's see. What do we have in the East?
In
We
the
ha-
play-in,
in the play-in. Yeah, we'll run through the play-in scenarios first, and then we'll get into what you think is going to happen with the play-in. Then we'll get into the first round.
okay. So in the East, we got Charlotte versus Indiana, and we got Boston versus Washington.
Okay.
Now, Boston and Indiana are the home teams in these scenarios, but I don't think either home team will come away with a victory.
Okay. So you think? Wait a minute. You said you think who's going in with the both home teams, or
Both of the home teams are probably I got losing. I got Boston and Indiana losing their first games for sure.
okay?
Um the Indiana game will be a lot closer. I think that would be a down to the wire game if LeVert and Sabonis are playing. Um if they're not playing, I would have to go with Charlotte. There's just nobody on Indiana's roster that can create their own shot besides them two. So um yeah, I would have Indiana with a slight edge over Charlotte in that game. Now, Boston, Washington, it all depends on Bradley Beal's health. If
Okay.
his hamstring's doing okay, then I'm gonna go Washington just because it's Tatum. Tatum's really the only one out there that's dependable. Kemba's iffy with his health. Marcus Smart has been healthy for the majority of this year.
Uh
Jaylen
huh.
Brown's obviously out for the season with the wrist injury. So I'm gonna go Washington by like 7 to 12 points. I don't think it's gonna be as close as you would expect for a play-in game with like everything on the line type of scenario. But Boston has another chance to win if they lose. So they get a second game if they do end up dropping that first one.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's see. I think we probably see it the same because yeah, I got Charlotte, and when we look at the numbers, because you know what they say, numbers don't lie. So when we look at the numbers on the two teams, how they compare, it's going to be interesting. Indiana and Charlotte's pretty even, but I think Charlotte will win that playing game, pretty much just like you said. Boston and Washington. Yeah, I'm with you. Look, I'm with you on that too. So I guess we're not doing a Stephen A. Max kind of deal where we're disagreeing with each other right now. But yeah, I'll take Washington in that playing game as well because of the way they're playing. And also, I don't know. Boston just has something missing right now, other than Brown. So okay, so that's the East play-in situation. So what you see happening in the West?
In the West, we got Lakers Warriors. Obviously, that's what everyone wants to see. That's the main event of the whole play-in tournament.
Right, right.
And then you got Memphis versus San Antonio. Um, Unlike the East, in the West, I'm predicting both home teams to come out with a victory the first game. I don't think the Lakers and Warriors will be as close as what people think it will be. Um,
Okay.
Steph Curry, obviously, he's incredible. He can go off for 50 any given night.
Right.
But as I was watching that last game against Memphis, he had 46, but Memphis just didn't have anybody who could score the ball. So I'm seeing a way better defensive team in the Lakers game planning for Steph. Um, they don't have anybody to guard LeBron or AD. So I just think it's gonna be a matchup problem for the Warriors. And LeBron, the one game to get in, get some more rest scenario, I'm gonna take LeBron. So I got the Lakers over the Warriors by 15.
Wow. Okay.
And with the Memphis San Antonio game, uh, San Antonio, I mean, they're lingering around. Greg Popovich has a team at least competitive, but I don't see a scenario where they really beat Memphis. I feel like Memphis, the only reason why they won't make the playoffs this year is because they'll have to play Golden State again in the second game for the 8th spot. But credit to Greg Popovich though for even having this team in a play-in situation. They have a lot of young guys. I know they have DeRozan still. Rudy Gay's a vet, but with the team currently constructed, they shouldn't even be in a play-in situation. So credit to him. But I think Memphis will win that one. I don't think it will be necessarily a nail biter, but I don't think they'll blow them out either. Probably win by 7 to 10, somewhere around that range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, look, we're gonna. I'm gonna go chalk on that too, man. It looks like we're gonna be on the same page. I think the Lakers, like you said, I think everybody's seeing what Golden State's doing. They're really kind of hit their stride. They're playing well. Steph's averaging 40 a game, but I think the Lakers will treat this game as close to a game 7 as possible, like a real closeout game. And we saw what they did in the. I know that was last year, but in the championship game last year in the bubble, where Miami threatened them. They got away with game 5, with that last shot missed. And then they came out in game 6 and they put on a defensive exhibition. They straight up strapped up Miami. And I feel like they'll do this from the jump with Golden State. They're not going to play around and feel their way in. I think LeBron will be aggressive from the beginning. And I really think by the time this game gets into the fourth quarter, it will already be decided. So, and not to take anything away from Golden State, I don't think they're a good matchup for a Lakers team that's hungry and LeBron and AD healthy with the way they play defense. Memphis and San Antonio. I think Memphis will get away with this game. I think they'll come out of this game with the W, and then have a rematch with Steph and the Warriors. Because Memphis, they have some. They have a good team. They're young, but they have a good team. So that's how I see that first series going. So now back to the East and the second round of the play-in for the 8-9.
See, so we'll have, according to what we agreed upon, well, I have Indiana winning.
Oh, you have Indiana in it? Oh, okay. I thought you were Charlotte too, but okay.
Well, if LeVert and Sabonis both play and they're both 100%,
Yeah.
I'll take Indiana slightly beating them.
Okay.
But I don't think they will be. That's why I went with Charlotte in the beginning. I don't think Sabonis will be 100%. So I'm gonna go with Charlotte.
Okay.
Um, so it'll be Boston, Charlotte in the second round for the 8th spot. That's a tough one. I remember they played back-to-back games Charlotte got the first one, Boston got the second one, I believe. And they're pretty, with Jaylen Brown out, they're pretty evenly matched, barring everybody else is playing. That's a tough game because do I want to trust guys that's been there, Kemba, Marcus Smart, Tatum, in a game against those guys who are mostly inexperienced besides Terry Rozier? Because, I mean, LaMelo obviously is all world. Probably will win Rookie of the Year this year, even though he was out for a month. But we don't really know how he's gonna step up to this Game 7 type of field, because the second round, this is a real Game 7. It's win or go home for real. At least in Boston's case, they lost that first round in Washington. They knew they had a fallback game against the winner of the 9-10. But this game is a real win or go home. So I'm gonna have to go Boston.
Okay.
Close game. I think Tatum will close the game out. I put my trust in Tatum over a Rozier, Devontae Graham, Miles Bridges into a game situation. So I'm gonna go Boston by 3. I'm gonna give them that. It would be that close. It'd be a great game.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, so in essence, you're saying you don't think Sabonis is going to be healthy, so you think Charlotte will win that game, even though you would take Indiana.
I would take Indiana if they were both 100%. They've been in and out all year. It's just not good timing for Indiana. They've been pretty injury riddled throughout the season. So
okay. So now, so thinking about that matchup with Charlotte and Boston. So let me think here. So yeah, everything you said about that matchup, I pretty much agree with. The thing that I think that will get Charlotte, even though I love my Hornets, the thing that I think will get them is you got to think about Kemba, you got to think about Tatum, you got to think about Marcus Smart. They have all been in playoff situations before. I mean, they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. So the moment is definitely not going to be too big for them. And, Tatum he can go for 50 and win a game for you. And so as much as I'd want Charlotte to win that game and get the 8 seed, get that experience of, I don't know how much of experience it would be playing Philly, but
Philly, yeah.
I'm gonna take Boston in that one too.
Surprising. Going against the home team.
I know, man, but I got to be realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now, hold on. What we'll do is let's look at these matchups for a second, because let me see 1 second here. I'm gonna pull up the screen here. Let's see. I thought I had it. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm going to do this team comparison. Here we go. All right. So you can see the team comparison I have up on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here you go. So we have Indiana and Charlotte, right?
Mm-hmm.
Win-loss, 1 game apart. Home record, of course, Charlotte has a better home record, but this is kind of wild. Charlotte has a better home record, but they're playing in Indiana. So actually, that might be in Charlotte's favor, because they are 13 and 23 at home, and Charlotte's 18, but Charlotte's not playing at home. But the flip side of that is Charlotte has a much worse road record than Indiana, which Indiana has a 21 and 15 road record, the exact opposite. 21 and 15 road, Charlotte 15 and 21 road. But they're playing at Indiana. So that bodes well for Charlotte. That's in Charlotte's favor. Same record against the teams in the East, which is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? 20 and 22. The West, let's see. Indiana was a little bit better against the West. And in the division itself, Charlotte was better in the division. Of course, Indiana scores a few more points a game, but Charlotte gives up less points per game. So Indiana has won their last game. Charlotte's on a 5-game losing streak. So so that's an interesting matchup. Really, when you look at the numbers, they're pretty even, man.
Yeah, they're real. I mean, we're only separated by a game. So that last day of the regular season, indeed did flip them because Charlotte was in 8th at the time, and with the loss to Washington, um, they dropped all the way to 10. So that last game of the season was big for Charlotte and Indiana to get a home court game that first game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I see the head-to-heads. Last time he played was April 2nd. Charlotte
Mm-hmm.
won by 17. It says LeVert played. I don't know who else played in that game. Can we click on that?
Which one?
The head-to-head matchup April 2nd.
April 2nd. Okay.
And see who played in that game. It says Charlotte won by 17. No LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
Let's
Let me
see.
see.
Okay, Gordon Hayward played though. Only 19 minutes. Is that the game he got hurt?
It must have been.
Okay.
No LaMelo, right?
Let's see on Indiana side.
Let's see. Here we go.
You got Sabonis, Turner, LeVert. So a decent amount of players play. Obviously, TJ Warren's out for the season.
Right.
Brogdon didn't play, so I don't know. Teams look pretty even right there.
Mm-hmm.
So Charlotte won by 17. So that's what I'm saying. If I had to bet money on a team, I think I would go Charlotte in that game. But see, LeVert's one of those guys though, and we saw against LA a couple games ago. Well, LeVert was looking really good. So he can definitely have one of those breakout games for sure. Because 16, he won't have 16 again. He'll have more than 16 this game for sure.
Okay. All right. So now let's look at who we got. We got Boston and Washington. That first one we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, there you go. You got Boston and you have Washington. But you see there, 2-game difference. Home games. So this game will be in Boston. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the home record 21 and 15. And Washington's road record is 15 and 21. But the only thing is with Washington, their numbers are kind of skewed because of how they started off so bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, Russell Westbrook was claiming that he was partially injured up until the All-Star break, I believe. So they were pretty. If you go from the All-Star break on, those numbers are going to look a lot different.
Right, exactly.
And Washington's one of the hottest teams since the All-Star break in the NBA. So any team wouldn't want to be matched up with them in a one-game scenario, that's for sure. With Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal on their squad,
yeah,
that's not necessarily the matchup you hope for. But yeah, Boston does have a pretty decent home record. So, and I believe for the playing game, they're letting, I want to say 50% capacity fans.
Who, Washington?
No, Boston.
I mean Boston. Yeah.
Game. So that may play a huge advantage to Boston playing in front of a TD Garden squad. But yeah, I would just go. I still got Washington edging them out. I don't think Boston has enough. I don't think their defense is good enough losing Jaylen Brown like that to withstand the offensive output that Washington will put on them. Because as you see, Washington scores almost 117 a game.
Mm-hmm.
They give up almost 119, but Boston won't get to 119 against them. They don't have enough offensively to get there. So not with losing Brown. So
Okay.
it should be pretty interesting.
So we're back to the team comparisons, right? You see the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that was a breakdown for Washington and Boston. Um, so we'll go back out to the West, and we'll look at the first playing game. We talked about the Lakers and Golden State. Okay, so this game is at Staples Center. There's a difference in the record. I guess about 3 games difference in the records, win percentage, that type thing. The Lakers are home 21-15, and on the road, Golden State is 14-22. So that is a pretty big disparity there. But the thing is, though, you can't really go by that because lately Golden State has been one of the hottest teams. As a matter of fact, the hottest team in the league because they've won their last 6 games. And the second hottest team in the league, of course, is the Lakers, which they've won their last 5. Um, you look at the points per game. Golden State scores 113 a game. They give up 112. The Lakers scored 109 a game. They give up 106. So there's some differences there. But again, a lot of the Lakers numbers are going to be a little bit different because of how many games AD and LeBron miss. Combined about 60 games, which is crazy. Combined, they've missed about 60 games.
That's a lot of games.
Right. That's a lot of games. So when you look into the numbers for Golden State and the Lakers, um, you look at the defensive numbers versus the offensive numbers. Golden State's point differential is 1 point differential a game. Of course, the Lakers is about 3, and that's 3 even with LeBron and AD missing. So um, I think what we see in the numbers is going to pretty much bear itself out that the Lakers are quite a bit better than Golden State.
Yeah, I'm looking at that last head-to-head. Can you click on that?
Last head-to-head right here.
The March 15th.
Oh, the March 15th. Okay.
And I just want to see who played in that game. So LeBron was there. There was no AD. And I'm looking at the Warriors, and this looks like everybody. This looks like everybody they'll have. So the fact that this is a 31-point blowout, LeBron only had 22. It doesn't look good for the Warriors. I know Steph is on another level right now. But just defensively, I don't see us giving up more than 110 to the Warriors. But I know we'll score 120 against Golden State. There's nobody. I think LeBron and AD will be close to 30 if they have to play in the fourth quarter at all.
Wow.
I don't think they have anybody to stop either one of those guys. So, I mean, they couldn't even stop Montrezl Harrell that game. He had 27.
Well, so now, do you think Frank Vogel will be strategic, and that will definitely be a game where Trez play a lot?
I think so because they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody down there. They're a real small team. They play small. They they kind of Draymond's their defensive anchor, and he's only 6'7", about Montrez's height. So then the Lakers gonna play pretty big and just play bully ball.
Wow. Now that number right here, that's pretty shocking too. It's shocking in a way, and in a way it's not. I mean, when you look at only scoring 97 in that game, when they average what, 112, and held them about 15 under their average.
Yeah, and that was without Caruso as well.
Without Caruso and AD.
So or Drummond.
Or Drummond.
We had Damian Jones at center.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't see a scenario in Staples. More fans would be in attendance. I just don't see us losing that game. If that ensures more rest for LeBron and AD to get back up to 100%, then I know for a fact that the Lakers will not lose that game.
So now let's look at this Christmas. Let's look at this game after the first of the year when the Lakers had a big lead. I think this was the one where Golden State came back and snuck up on him and kind of bit him, right? Because in that game, I think the Lakers had everybody in that game.
Yeah, we're up 16 at halftime. And they outscored us in the third only by 5. So we were still up 11 going into the fourth. And got absolutely blitzed in the fourth quarter. So
yeah.
Nobody really went too crazy. Steph, 26, but 8 for 22 shooting, 3 for 12 from 3. We can live with that. We'll live with that from Steph this upcoming game on Wednesday. Wiggins 18, Oubre 23. I mean, that's about as much as you're gonna get from those guys. So
yeah, Oubre 23. Yeah, that's a big game.
But the difference maker for them is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is not that same person anymore. Jordan Poole can flat out play off the bench. He's essentially a 6-man. He had only 5 minutes and 0 in that first game. He's a totally different player, super confident.
Yeah.
He's had 20 in I think 3 of the last 6 games. So
yeah. Pascal had a pretty big game.
19. And most of his was in the second half as well. But yeah, that was just, I mean, if you look at the 3 matchups, we blew them out in the 2 games, the Lakers. And the 1 game that Golden State snuck and got, they came back in the fourth quarter. So
yeah. And look at the shooting. Look at the shooting night. Even though the Lakers were up by 16 at halftime, look at the shooting numbers for AD and LeBron.
Yeah, 6 for 16. close to 40%. It's
Yeah.
not the best for either of them. Way under their averages.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we kind of see what's going on there. So now the other game, Memphis, and because this would be interesting because I really, even though I've watched a lot of NBA, of course, League Pass, all that kind of stuff, but I really haven't seen San Antonio play a lot. So it'll be interesting to see what their numbers look like compared to Memphis. Okay. So Memphis has a better record, and so Memphis is playing at home. Their home record is 18-18. Wow, that's kind of wild. Memphis is a better team on the road.
Both teams.
Right.
San Antonio may be in San Antonio's favor that they're playing on the road.
Right.
Because at home, they're pretty bad. 14-22.
Yeah.
That's not good at all for your home crowd.
Let's see, Memphis against the West. They have a better record against the West. Of course, they have a better record against the East. Head to head, let's see what's up. Memphis. San Antonio won that first game in December.
Which was the first game of the year.
Okay, 23rd.
John Moran had 44. I remember everybody was going crazy because they thought he was about to have a breakout season.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the head-to-heads tell the whole story with this matchup. For some reason, San Antonio can't stop Memphis from scoring the basketball. Giving up 120 first game, 130 again, and lost by 31 on February 1st. That's not encouraging.
Yeah, because you look at Memphis, what they average points per game is 113. Against San Antonio, they probably average about 125 or maybe 126. You look at their numbers.
Yeah, that's not a recipe for winning. But the point total will be down for a playing game like that.
That's true.
Teams will be playing better defensively, but Memphis is the better defensive team.
Let's see what we got with the defensive numbers. How many does points per game? They're pretty close defensively, numbers wise.
Yeah, they are pretty close. Well, San
Okay.
Antonio does have a couple guys who can defend. DeJounte Murray, Derek White's injured, I believe, though. But Memphis has Dylan Brooks, John Moran can defend, Jaren Jackson can defend.
Yeah.
John Moran's going to have to play big this game. That last game against Golden State, I didn't see enough of him.
Right.
He could have closed that game off. Instead, Steph did it. So against San Antonio, John Moran's going to be that guy in order for them to win. But I still have them winning.
Okay. Okay. So now the next round, yeah, we had Memphis, and Golden State. We'll stay in the East because that will be the 8-9 matchup playing for the 8th seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provided that things happen like we talked about with the Lakers beating Golden State. So you look at how they match up. Let's see. Okay, Golden State has won one more game. And this game will be at Golden State, right?
Yes.
So Memphis road record is, actually pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. And of course, the Warriors are pretty good at home. Warriors are a lot better at home than they are on the road. East and West, let's see, points per game. Ooh, their points per game is right there together. And Memphis is the better defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference in that playing game?
2 words. Steph
Curry.
You see, they threw everything in the kitchen sink at him in the beginning of that game on May 16th.
Right.
Dylan Brooks got in foul trouble. I expect the same exact thing to happen this game. And they're playing in Oracle, man. Not in Oracle, the new stadium.
Yeah, San Francisco.
The new stadium in San Fran now. But
yeah,
even though those fans still the same though. So it's hard to be Golden State when they're at home, man. And it's hard to beat Steph when he's at home. So I'm gonna go Golden State. I mean, Golden State's been here, man. They got, like LeBron said in that post-game interview, they got championship pedigree. Steph, Draymond, even Looney. They've all been big moments, finals runs, deep in the playoffs, big games, game 7s. So expect Draymond to have a game like he had in that first half yesterday, but for the entire game, this game. He's going to be ultra aggressive. He's going to hit a few shots. I don't think Steph will have 46 again.
Right.
But I think Wiggins will show up a little bit more in this game. So I got Golden State winning. Not by a lot. Probably something similar to the game yesterday.
Okay.
They pull away a little late, like off of free throws. They have to foul them. But yeah, I can't bet against Steph Curry. I can't bet on Steph Curry to lose twice to get into the postseason. That'll kind of diminish everything that he's accomplished this season. It just feels meant to be. He's supposed to be in the postseason somehow, some way.
Okay. So now, what was the scenario? What was the scenario in the East? We had Boston and
Charlotte.
Boston and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you going against the? Oh, okay. So you're saying, okay, I got you.
Boston loses their game. Charlotte wins.
Washington's beating Boston
Mm-hmm.
in the Boston and the Charlotte game. Okay, so let's look at those two and see how they look. Okay, so there we go. We got a three game difference in the record. On the road, Charlotte's 15-21, Boston's 21-15 at home. Okay. Points per game. Boston scores more, and they're about the same defensively. So that's a 3-point differential. Yeah, the numbers the numbers kind of say that Boston should win that.
Yeah, and I mean rightfully so. They've been deep in the playoffs as well. Guys have been in way bigger games than this playing game. Charlotte's young. Gordon Hayward's not playing. Terry Rozier is really the only one with real playoff experience that's in the rotation. And Terry Rozier used to play in Boston, so Brad Stevens is a smart coach.
Yeah,
he knows Terry Rozier, his weaknesses, his strengths. Boston's also a pretty good home team too. They have a decent amount of fans in the stands for that one. And Charlotte has lost 5 in a row. You don't want to be on a losing streak going to games like this. You want to be pretty confident. Losing their last 5,
yeah,
and control your destiny type games late in the regular season like that. For you not to be able to get it done, maybe a strong sign that this may not go in your favor. And also, when it comes to games like this, the Stars most likely prevail more than not. Boston has 2 people that, when healthy, are better than everybody else on Charlotte's team. So,
okay, all right. So now we're gonna shift gears. We got the play-in down. So now we're looking at the real playoffs, so to speak.
mm-hmm.
So now you have the East. Let's take the 1-8 in the East and then go with the 1-8 in the West, based on who you already think is going to win and end up in the 8th spot in the East, and who you feel like is going to end up in the 8th spot in the West. So in the East, you got Philly as the number 1 team. And you're going to have the Wizards, right? No, Boston.
Yep, you have the Celtics.
Okay, here we go. So there you go. You got Boston and Philly. Let's see what you got there. Of course, the record, there's a big discrepancy there. You have home 29-7, which is crazy. Single digits at home as far as losses. And Boston's 15-21 on the road. And now head to head, what do you got head to head? You got Philly sweeping head to head. Now, and this is what's crazy, even though in some of those games, you see Brown had a 42-point game and they still lost by 12. And I guess the closest game, I guess, was 8 points. Yeah, you got two 8 point games, 12 point game. And let's look at some of the numbers. You got scoring wise, Philly scores more than Boston. And they defend better than Boston. That's not a good combination.
Nah, you don't want to be in the lesser column of both of those.
No, no, that's not a good combination. But let me say this. For some reason, Boston has had Philly's number in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they have, but it won't be this year. Um, Joel Embiid's healthy. He's playing at an MVP level. Tobias Harris is having a career year. They got Doc Rivers as their head coach. They brought in Seth and Danny Green. Seth Curry and Danny Green. They brought in Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
They're tougher. Seth Curry can create his own shot. And they space the floor better with this team out there with Simmons, because Simmons can't shoot. So he needs shooters around him. Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris. And then B can shoot the ball. So
Yeah.
they picked up George Hill.
That is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just a mismatch. There's nobody on Boston that can even remotely guard Joel Embiid. So at most that series will go 5 games.
5 games.
At most. I'm thinking sweep, but Tatum getting hot and Kemba getting hot can happen in one game.
Yeah.
And they can steal you one at TD Garden. So I'm gonna go 5.
Okay, so 5. I'm with you on that. I'm not even gonna put up any resistance on that. I think 5 games as well, because like you said, Tatum, can get Tatum, Kimba, they can get hot, and even what Marcus Smart every now and then he'll hit 7 threes in a game. You know what I mean?
That'll most likely be the game they win.
Right. So they'll get one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go do now. What do you want to do? You want to stay in the East and go through the East, and then go over to the West?
Yeah,
Do the
let's stay in
7.
the East.
Okay. So 2 is Brooklyn, and 7 is
Washington.
all right. You got Russ playing against his old boys,
Yep.
Harden and Durant.
And Durant.
He just had a bad experience in Houston with Harden. He had an experience in OKC where Durant left him after they were up 3-1 on the Warriors. So this would be some good revenge play right here.
Yeah, this will be a very entertaining series.
Yeah.
But in terms of longevity of the series, it won't be any longer than the last one.
Okay.
Washington have played Brooklyn close twice, and those 2 games will be as entertaining as those first 2 matchups in the regular season. But in terms of everybody healthy, because the thing is, I don't believe Bradley Beal will be 100% in this year's playoffs for sure. And you're gonna need Beal to put up 30 at the very least, because plays are better than all of Washington's role players. Washington doesn't play any defense. I mean, look, they give up almost
They give up
119.
118. They give up what Brooklyn scores.
Yeah. You see that game January 31st, 149 to 146.
Yeah. In regulation.
In regulation. And Brooklyn since then, Brooklyn is still not a good defensive team, but they're better than that.
They've been playing better.
They're better than giving up 150.
Right.
They won't do that. Yeah, honestly, the more and more I think about it, I don't think Washington make a couple of the games interesting. I don't think they'll win a game. I think it'll be a sweep. But I will watch every single game because it will be entertaining basketball. Russell Westbrook against Kevin Durant in the playoff
Okay.
series.
I'm gonna give Washington one. I'm gonna give Washington one. And the reason I say that is because they really don't have any rim protection per se. And I know DeAndre Jordan is there, but if they pull him out, because they put what's your guy's name? Bertans on the court. If they put him on the court, you can't even play. You can't even play DeAndre Jordan. And Westbrook, that's really just like a driveway to the basket. So I'll give him one. What do we got in the 6-3?
Milwaukee and Miami.
Oh, yeah.
The most entertaining first round series possibly ever.
Yes. That's going to be interesting right there. So let's look at it. Let's see. Milwaukee's at home. They're 26-10 at home. And Miami is 19-17 on the road. Okay. But we know Miami has some issues with COVID and people being out for a lot of the year. So their numbers could be skewed a little bit as well. Their record against the East, Milwaukee, of course, their record against the West, 16-14. Same record against the West. That's interesting. Points allowed. It's interesting that Milwaukee is giving up more points this year than they have the past 2 years, really.
But they're scoring more.
But they're scoring more. They're the
120 a game is
they're the
really
number
high.
one scoring team in the league.
Right.
120 a game. But now this is what you look at a lot of times. And I know, like I said, with the COVID and people being out and everything, some of these numbers don't hold up, but that point differential usually can tell you a lot. When you allow 114 and you score 120, that 6-point gap right there, that's pretty huge. Even though they're giving up more points, their point differential is still up there with what they allow and what they score. Whereas Miami, even though they're playing better defense, they're not scoring near as much as Milwaukee.
Well, like you said, with the numbers being skewed.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler missed time.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero missed significant time.
Yeah.
Dragic missed time. That's most of their offense right there.
Yeah.
But what you want to look at is without Jimmy Butler for a while, COVID, Trevor Ariza just being at it. The fact that they're still only allowing 108 a game means their defense is for real.
Yeah.
That game, let's look at that December 29th game. That was pretty glaring. They lost by 50. So
let's see
who all played.
Yeah, so you didn't have Butler,
no Jimmy,
no
Ariza, no Butler, no Ariza. Dragic played, Tyler Hero played, Bam played as well. There's the difference right there, though. Mo Harkless and Miles Leonard giving you 0 and 0.
Yeah,
those two starters. Those won't be starters. No Kendrick Nunn either. Oh no, Kendrick Nunn played. But yeah, they're starting five. Miami's starting five looks a lot better than what's shown right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the Bucks did a number on them though. But look how early it was in the season. It was 4 games into the season.
He played. Yeah.
Yeah. So who am I? I want to go with Miami because I think Miami has Milwaukee's number. They have a Giannis answer. You see, Giannis only had 9 points that game.
Yeah, he only had 9 points, and that's disturbing. He
because
only
they
had
lost
9
by
points, and they
50.
had 144.
Right. That is. Well, Drew Holiday's an amazing pickup. Drew Holiday was the missing piece for them. To have a real point guard who can score and defend.
Yeah,
I mean,
big point guard, man.
about 6'4". So,
Thick.
I'm gonna give.
Who you got?
I'm gonna say Milwaukee in 6. I'm gonna say Milwaukee in 6.
Milwaukee in 6.
I
And
think every game will be competitive,
yeah.
but I think Drew Holiday is the difference.
Yeah, I think so too. You know what's kind of wild is, I mean, I really was feeling Miami. I was like, you know what? Miami may end up in that Eastern Conference Finals, and really against, it's going to be Brooklyn on that side of the bracket. But well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait for my prediction on that. But but I really was like, Miami, they're playing good, solid ball, man. They're balling out. They're coming together at the right time. They look formidable. But Milwaukee, who do you trust? Do you trust Milwaukee shooters over Miami shooters? Because I really feel like that's what it may come down to. And one of the moves that Milwaukee made that may be an understated move, actually two of them, Brent Forbes and DJ Augustine. Not that they're going to be, make big contributions or be like determinative, but both of those guys can hit shots. Brent Forbes, he's hit big shots in the playoffs. I mean, even though he's still, a fairly young guy, but he, that could be huge. Of course, you're gonna, you got your other shooters, Middleton, uh DiVincenzo, he's kind of up and down. But that's a pick 'em, man. I'm thinking that's gonna go 7, John, and that's gonna go 7, and I don't know, man. As much as I want to say Milwaukee, I think last year Miami going to the finals, I think that's gonna help all them guys that was on the team really have the confidence to gut it out. Now, they do have to actually play in front of fans this year. So whether that'll make a difference or not, I don't know. But I'm a part with you on this one, and I'm gonna take Miami.
Now, one more point to make about this series.
Yeah.
DJ Augustine got traded to Houston for PJ Tucker. So
so that was the earlier in the year.
Yeah, you got rid of that shooting, but PJ Tucker's still corner 3.
He's a corner 3, and he's a defender.
Right. I don't know if PJ Tucker would necessarily bother. Would it be Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, some.
But I think Jimmy Butler kind of thrives off that type of brand of basketball. So if PJ Tucker really wants to get physical with it for real, I don't think that's going to bother a dude like Jimmy Butler for real.
Okay.
But I don't think – see, the difference for me is Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. I don't think they'll be what they were in that last year series in the bubble with these fans here.
Okay.
So you said Miami in 7. I said Milwaukee in 6 for this one.
Okay. So that's where we differ. So, I'm just going to make a note on that one.
Okay.
Miami second round. Oh, that's first round, huh? 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
No, I know. That's crazy. That's a first round matchup.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Now I'm almost like, there's no way Milwaukee can lose in the first round, but it's almost like no way either one of them can lose in the first round.
No, yeah, that will be the most watched series
But
for sure.
somebody's got to lose in the first round.
Somebody's got to lose.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so let's see. What do we have next? We have the
Knicks,
4 and 5.
Knicks and the Hawks, the
But
newcomers.
look, you know what? You're talking about this game being exciting. That's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, it will.
The Knicks in Atlanta.
But see, this won't be exciting as in either of these two teams could go to the Eastern Conference Finals and give Brooklyn a run for their money.
True.
These two teams, New York and Atlanta, have no shot. But it's entertaining when they play each other.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
New York Knicks and Atlanta Hawks. Let's see what they look like matched up.
Wow.
Same exact record.
Same exact home and road.
Same home and away record. One game apart in how many games they won in the East and the West. Is that crazy?
That's pretty wild.
Now, here you go. Points per game. Of course, you got Atlanta, they can score. But, they're giving up more points, but they're scoring more. So let's look at a differential in it too. So the Knicks has a 3-point, basically 2.5 point differential. And Atlanta has about a 2.5 point differential,
They have the same exact 2.3.
Is that crazy?
Wow.
Is that crazy? Head to head. What do you have head to head?
Sweet.
You have New York, New York, New York. Wow.
And looks like nobody can stop Julius Randle.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks. But now let's think about this too. Who was missing in the Atlanta games? Because we know New York has been healthy almost the whole year, other than Mitchell Robinson, of course. But their main players this year.
Yeah, let's go to the most recent one. OT game about a month ago. So no DeAndre Hunter, no Gallinari.
Yeah.
For the Knicks.
So what basically you got? Pretty much everybody played.
Yeah.
With the Knicks.
So
that's interesting because Atlanta's been without. They've been without Hunter, Gallinari off and on. Lou Will came late in the year. This might be interesting, John.
It seems like they're that close, but in terms of a series prediction,
yeah,
I got New York in 5. I see these games. I'm thinking playoff intensity basketball. The Knicks are just way more built to win a playoff series in Atlanta. Atlanta, they had was it Nate McMillan came in?
Yeah.
He's the head coach now. Tom Thibodeau, he's been there. He's proven. And teams like this, he thrives with. Gritty defensive teams, tough. Now, if the Knicks didn't have a Julius Randle type of player,
yeah,
I would predict Atlanta to win. But Julius Randle's that type of player where if you really don't have nobody out there who can hold him, he's going to let you know. And, of course, they got Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
How awesome would it be for Derrick Rose to perform well in the playoff series? Yeah, nobody in Atlanta's been there besides Capella.
Yeah.
And Lou Will, but Lou Will is a shell of himself now, so I'm gonna go Knicks in 5. I don't think it goes any more than 5. It could go 6 max, but I'm gonna predict 5.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Knicks, but I'm gonna give Atlanta 2. I think Nate's a good enough. I think Nate's a good enough coach to make adjustments and get them guys an extra game. I think they'll be on one night and just like be able to score a bunch and actually win the game. They get hot shooting where when you got 3-point shooters on the team. I mean, I know the Knicks. They're a good defensive team that close out well and everything, but you get Herter hot, you get Bogdan hot, Trey hot. I mean, John Collins can shoot from three. I mean, pretty much almost the whole team can shoot from three.
Everybody can shoot that gets significant minutes except for Capella, yeah.
So I think they'll get one like that, and I think McMillan will make some adjustments to get them one more. So, but I see the Knicks advancing, so the Knicks, they'll get to the second round, man.
And that's about where the ceiling's at.
Yeah. And so that's it for the East, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move over to the West. Let's see, we got the number 1 is the Utah Jazz. And number 8 is the Golden State Warriors.
Man.
So they're at home, 31-5 at home, which is an insane home record.
Yeah.
Golden State 14-22 on the road. They score more than Golden State, and they defend like almost 10 times better than Golden State on paper. Look at their differential, John. They have almost a 9-point differential.
They got over a 9.
What they give up, right, over 9. What they give up and what they score.
Yeah.
And Golden State has a 1 point and exactly a 1 point differential.
Look at the head-to-heads. Golden State 2-1.
So what's crazy? Oh, we know what's crazy about that. Even though Utah has been winning, but for probably about 15 games, there was no Conley and no Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
And for like the past 35 games, who knows? There's been no Donovan Mitchell. When is he scheduled to come back?
He's back for the playoffs.
Okay.
But no, Mitchell got hurt later than what you think.
Okay, now so let's look at this game Mitchell played. The game they won.
Right.
He had 23. Conley had 17.
Yeah, Curry 24.
Wiseman, Wiggins. That's
the first game of the season. That was early.
That was early. But see, now this is what I'm wondering.
He played in that game. He played in the March game.
Okay, he did play in that March 14th game. He did play.
24.
Okay. Wow.
Golden State won by 12. Let's see if everybody was there.
Wow. Conley probably wasn't. No, Conley's there.
No. That's their team. That's the 9 players that will play in the postseason for the Jazz.
Clarkson even had 21.
Yeah.
Off the bench. Gobert had 24, which is unusual.
Yeah, Golden State, Steph Wiggins 28.
See, he's the wild card.
He is.
He's the wild card in every series, except against the Lakers. But but you know how it is when he plays against LeBron.
Yeah, he wants to go off. Jordan Poole, that's the Jordan Poole the Warriors will get in the postseason. Okay.
But they're missing this guy, though.
They are missing Wiseman.
Wow, this game now. I know this is what's crazy. Now, this is one of those things where, you say you trust the numbers, right? But in this situation, it's like the numbers say Golden State will get swept. That's what the numbers say. When you look at the numbers, it's like there's no way they'll win a game. But then you look at the record head to head, and you're like, okay, How is Golden State winning these games?
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I got Utah winning 6. I think Golden State to get 2 games strictly off of Steph Curry being Steph Curry.
Okay.
Because Utah, see, if Donovan Mitchell had been playing this whole year,
Yeah.
I may go Utah sweeping them. But the fact that his first games back will be in this playoff series, I wouldn't even be surprised if Golden State won game 1. But see, it's tricky. If Golden State messes around and wins game 1, it gets real dangerous for Utah, though. Because you don't want a team like that to win the first game against the 1 seed led by Steph Curry and Draymond.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's tricky. Depending on Donovan's health, I'm going to go Utah in 6. If he looks a lot worse than what I thought, I'm going to still go Utah, but in 7.
If it goes 7, John, Utah's not winning.
I think they will. I'm thinking of last year against Denver. They've had a game 7 last year.
Yeah, they also lost the game 7.
They lost it, but now they've been in that situation, though.
Okay, I think the pressure eat them up, knowing that Steph Curry is, especially if Steph is playing well in this series, if he's getting 30 and 40 a game, I think they'll be scared out of their socks if they end up in a game 7 against Steph. And 2, think about this, man. I'm telling you, you get in a game 7 and them boys get confidence. And like I said, Wiggins is the wild card. Because they get to a game 7 and Wiggins has 25 plus, it's over.
See, my thing with Wiggins, though, he's never been there. Ever.
Yeah, you got a point.
He's never been on a winning team. So
okay.
So I got Utah in 6. My prediction is Utah in 6.
Oh, let's see. I'm taking do I think the Warriors can upset them? Do I think they can upset them? Let me see. Do I think they can upset them? They won 2 head-to-head with Utah having everybody. You know what? In my mind, I said both the 1 and the 2 in the West. It will be the first time in history that the 1 and 2 is upset by the 7 and 8. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that wild scenario.
Golden State in 7.
Golden State in 7.
That's not a wild take.
Well, it's a wild take if the 7 and the 8 seed in the West beat the 1 and the 2.
Well, it's not a wild take when that 7 and 8 are the Lakers and Golden State.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Gobert had Utah lost by 12 that game. Gobert had 24 and 28.
That's what I'm saying, John.
He had 28 rebounds.
24 and 28, right? And they lost.
Oh yeah, no, Utah's in trouble.
And they lost. And they lost
Utah
by 12. And they lost by 12.
Utah had 4 players with over 23. Oh no, with over 20.
And they lost by 12.
And they lost by 12?
Yeah. See, something about that matchup.
Yeah, it's screaming
and the numbers. See, the numbers say there's no way Golden State can beat this team. That's what the numbers say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at this sheet right here, you look at these box scores, and it's like you got 4 players scoring 20 plus, and Gobert being one of them, which that's not his forte.
With 28 rebounds.
He also grabs 28 rebounds and has 4 blocks, which, you know, is in his wheelhouse. 4 blocks, 28 rebounds, 24 points. Had 8 offensive rebounds, so that's second chance points.
See, the difference is, will Bogdan have 9 points again, though?
I don't know. We haven't seen him in that situation, really. I mean, he played good in Indiana against LeBron
Well, Andy
one
just had a
year.
career high against Denver. He gave him 48.
Yeah, it's the playoffs though.
No, I mean I know. I'm gonna go. I'm still stick with.
Still
I'm
six.
still
Okay.
stick with
All
Utah.
right. I'm gonna take the upset in 7.
Okay.
Okay. So what do we got? What do we got now? We have.
Phoenix and LA.
Let's go, Phoenix Suns. Let's see what we got. And the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. How much is Phoenix scoring? Phoenix is scoring 115. They scoring the ball, man. And LA scoring 109, but you got to keep in mind Phoenix has been healthy most of the year, with the exception of Jay Crowder. And LA, we know their situation. So, but 109 and 106. So Phoenix has a pretty good point differential, man. It's almost 6 points. That's you can win some games like that.
Well, yeah. If you win 50 games in a 72 game season, then
Yeah,
your point differential better look something like that.
yeah.
Um.
And you have the Lakers with close to 3, but we know the deal there. Let's see home record. So Phoenix is going to be at home 27-9, single digits is pretty good. The Lakers 21-15 on the road, which before AD and LeBron went down, the Lakers had the best road record in the league. Interesting. Let's see head to head. What do you got? You got Phoenix winning two of the 3.
That March 21st game, I know for a fact, one or not both wasn't playing, right?
So
Because
what was happening March the May the 9th? Did the Booker play? Yeah.
yep,
Booker played. Oh, everybody played. AD just went off.
yeah, he
Yeah,
did just went
LeBron
crazy.
wasn't. LeBron wasn't there, but AD
Hmm.
just went crazy. Let's see. Nah, you got
Yeah.
Marcus Morris in the starting lineup. As a matter of fact,
Well, no LeBron or AD,
no
so I'm not
LeBron or
worried about
AD.
that.
Okay.
I'm not worried about that. That's their entire starting five right there on the Suns squad.
Yeah.
That game essentially doesn't even matter.
March 2nd. What do we got?
LeBron went off 38.
No
No AD.
Davis.
No Kuz.
LeBron was here.
LeBron was more than here. 38.
No AD.
Yeah, no AD, no Kuz, no Drummond. Wasn't on the team.
Yeah. No Antetokounmpo.
I mean, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the latest game showed us everything it really need to show us. Phoenix is obviously CB3 should obviously be in the MVP discussion off of bringing that team to where they are alone, but this
Yeah,
team is
that's
super
true.
young.
Yeah.
Other than CB3 and Jay Crowder, nobody else know what winning feels like
No. Don't have a
or
clue
even
what the
close
playoffs.
to it.
They have no clue what's getting ready to happen.
So, given that, this is absolutely the worst team they want to play first. That's the worst team. I feel bad for Devin Booker. He's done all this
Yeah.
to get there. But he's gonna get blitzed in the first round. We're gonna blitz him.
So how many games?
5.
You think 5? You think it's going to be one of them games where they might win the first and then?
I think Phoenix may win the first game. I think CP3 may go crazy. And that's it. That's it.
You know what I think? I think the Lakers going to win it in 6. Because I think they might win the first, and then the Lakers will win the next 2. And then I think, the Lakers may slip up, almost like that Miami series. Like one gets away, like late, they sneak one, And then the game 6, the Lakers come back and just like put their stamp on them. And I think at that point, from game 6 on, I think the Lakers will be in their groove. So we both
Okay.
agree on that. You just got them in 5. I got them in 6.
Yeah, that game with AD just playing no LeBron, they won't have an answer for AD that entire series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So what do we got? 3-6. We got oh, your boys, they opted out of the 3 spot. So we got Denver.
Denver and Portland.
Denver and Portland.
I believe so.
John, I mean, look, is it crazy, man? The Clippers opting out of playing the Lakers until the Western Conference Finals.
If I was the Clippers, I want to play them now.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I wouldn't wait to play them then because I don't think they beaten us then.
Right.
So
okay, here you go. Denver and Portland, man. Okay, this is an interesting series right here. You got Denver with the better record, of course. Denver's at home, 25-11, pretty good record. Now look at Portland's road record, though, man. 22-14. It's not bad.
At all. Denver
Not
same
bad at all. Against the East, you got Denver has a little better record, 2-game record better than against the East. Denver has a better record against the West. Points scored. Portland can score. 116. Denver's not bad at 115. Denver plays better defense. 110. We know that. 114. So what's the X factor? Let's look at head to head. What's been happening head to head?
Denver's essentially swept them because that game yesterday didn't count.
Yeah, they threw that game, which is crazy. So Denver basically, pretty much. So what are you expecting to happen in this series?
The X factor in this series obviously would have been Jamal Murray. Portland beat the same Denver squad. I guess no MPJ, no Aaron Gordon in that 7-game series. They made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
But
Jokic is so much better.
Yeah, he's better. Jamal Murray not being there is going to hurt Denver, though. In a playoff series, you can't put Campazzo on that floor against Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum. That's gonna be the biggest mismatch you'll see in any of these playoff series. If you tell Damian Lillard that a dude 5'10" is about to guard you, he's thinking he's wide open every time he shoots the ball.
So you don't think he'll switch? You don't think Terry Stotts will switch it up?
Where would you put him? Where would you put Campazzo? Because you can't put him on the 2 guard or Norman Powell. You can't put him on any of them.
No, you can't put him on CJ. You can't. Yeah.
So my thing is, Denver would have been really a threat to make it to the finals, if not win it all.
You're gonna have to play some zone. What you do is you play some zone when he's on the floor, man. You may have to not play. You can't play him as much, but you're gonna have to run some zone.
I think Portland's the last team you want to run zone against. You got Dame, CJ, Norman Powell, and Covington on the floor. I don't think zone's the option either.
Yeah.
I think Denver without Murray and Barton, there's not enough scoring. Aaron Gordon's not a scorer. He's a do-it-all type of player. Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic, they are, but that won't be enough to Portland. They have too many people who can go get their own. Damian Lillard, there's nobody to guard him.
So
Jokic
you think
will obviously average 30, but
so you think Portland's gonna win this series?
Portland in 6. I want to say 5. I really don't think. I'm gonna say Portland in 6. Denver at home with the high altitude.
See, this game right here that really meant something. The 21st of April. See, this is what gets me about this whole series is, I hear what you're saying, but look at this. Gordon didn't have a big game,
Will Barton
but Will
played.
Barton's not playing. I got you. But Michael Porter Jr., he's going to have more than this in every game in that series. Jokic 30 plus. Capazzo, he can hit threes and stuff like that. Millsaps, he's an X factor off the bench.
That was probably one.
Jermichael Green had 0. He's going to hit some threes, and
He might not even play.
He'll play. Dozier's out for the year, and Rivers has been playing pretty well, man.
That was also one of CJ McCollum's first games back. He only had 14. That won't happen in any of these games. Damian Lillard won't have 22 in any of these games.
Yeah, okay, man. But this is, well, other than Barton. All right. Okay, so what you got? You said you got.
I got Portland in 6.
6. I'm gonna take the MVP in. I'm gonna take the MVP in 6. So I'm gonna take Denver. So what do we have? We have the last one, right?
We got Clippers, Dallas.
Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. I think the Clippers may have set themselves up for. I know you think they can just beat Dallas. If Porzingis can make it through this series, this may be an upset, John, in my estimation. Let's look at the numbers. Okay. Clippers, of course, they had the better record. And what's wild is Dallas has the same home record as they do on the road. Okay, so the Clippers, same road record as Dallas. Clippers are better at home. But, this is not a playing game. So everybody's going to play on their home court and everybody's going to play on their away court. Against the East, one game different. Against the West, the Clippers have been better. Points scored. The Clippers, of course, they're scoring the ball. They're shooting the cover off the ball from 3. Dallas 112, not far behind. Dallas is actually better defensively than I would have thought this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have a couple of good defensive players, though.
Yeah. So the Clippers differential, though, is pretty significant.
Yeah, over 6.
Yeah. that's a pretty big number. Okay, but now let's look at head to head. Head to head, man. Dallas ain't scared of them boys at all. I don't know, we don't know. One of Kawhi may not have played. Let's look at the last in the March the 17th. Luka had 42. We know last year in the playoffs, they had no answer for Luka at all. Kawhi did play. Paul George played. Morris Sr. played. Reggie Jackson. Of course, Serge didn't play, I don't think.
No Serge, no Rondo, no DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay. Porzingis didn't have a great game.
Right there.
Richardson, a typical game for him. Hardaway, so. This is the problem right here. This is the problem. He was the problem last year. And I think in his mind, I don't think he really likes them either.
I mean, I know he doesn't like them off the Marcus Morris.
Yeah. I don't know, John. I don't know, man. As much as I think the Clippers are, they got their footing. I don't know, man. I don't know if they really want to see these guys in the first round. even though they orchestrated it. I don't know if they really wanted to see it. I guess it, it was like they rather play them than play. But they still wouldn't play the Lakers. They would have played the Portland.
Yeah, I think they wanted Dallas as a statement series.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I don't think they're gonna play around with him. I think Rondo's gonna give Luka some real fits.
Okay.
The fact that you got Rondo and Pat Bev, they're gonna be constantly harassing this dude. And you seen how many texts he done got this year. He's been complaining more than anybody else in the league. So it's real easy for a guy like Luka to get ejected out of any game this series against the Clippers. Yeah, I think for some reason I don't think Paul George is gonna be way off P. I think he's gonna be playoff P this series.
Okay, so that's what you're predicting.
I think that's the difference.
Something different.
Well, something different is Rajon Rondo and Serge Ibaka playing.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the Clippers got something to prove this year until they play us. They're beating Dallas in 5 games.
Okay, now, man, I'm picking a lot of upsets because I'm now. I don't think the Clippers scared. I don't think they scared Dallas at all. I think Dallas feel like they should have won the series last year. I feel like they believe if Porzingis is healthy, that they'll beat him this year. And Richardson added something to that team defensively, and Brunson is playing good ball off the bench as well. I just think I think Luka may be in their head, man. I'm taking 7. I'm taking Dallas in 7. I'm calling the upsets. There are gonna be some upsets this year in the shortened season, COVID protocol.
Nah. Kawhi's not playing with these boys, man.
Okay.
They're not tough enough to. Nah.
You know what? You about to talk me off the wall.
That's a real bold one. I don't see Dallas just beating them in those 7-game series. Not this. They got everybody. I mean, the Clippers have everybody. They're fully healthy.
Okay. All right. You talk me off the wall. I'm going with the Clippers. Clippers in 6.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't see it. I can't see it.
You talk me off the wall. Yeah, I got you. All right, we'll roll with him. So that brings us to the end of round 1 and the play-in series. So looking forward to round 2. We'll do this again, and we may do some things in between as we go through different games in the playoffs and kind of what's going on. But this has been fun, man.
Yeah, no, this is a good segment. It's a good stopping point. Play in first round.
Yeah,
we get some time to assess the games, come back with more material.
There you go. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna let you get to exams.
Well, thank you.
And appreciate you, man. This was good. Enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
All right. So that's it, folks. We've come to the end of the first segment of the play-in, play-off NBA Jams, part 1. And so we are out.
Peace.